Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into this transfer video, if you could just hit that big red button down below, that would massively help me out. But today's video is another transfer video. This time, it's not about someone that we've been linked with. It's more about someone that I've scouted myself, if you will. And this scouting series is something that we've done in the past, so make sure you leave a like if you enjoy them. Now, this player has been linked with West Ham before, apparently for around a 50 million euro move at the time. But when you actually look at his value on Transfermarkt, Brais Mendez is a player, currently plays for Real Sociedad. He is 28 years old, attacking midfielder, and apparently his rated value is 28 million euros, which obviously is a little bit less in pounds, 25 million pounds. If you could get somebody like this for that amount of money, it would be a fantastic move. I truly do believe, because he is somebody who is in his prime. 28 years old for like an attacking midfielder is kind of the sweet spot for their best output, I believe. And I think he's somebody who could do really, really well for Leeds. This season, he has played 43 games. He's got 8 goals and 5 assists, which doesn't sound massive, but in terms of his contributions, he's definitely more of a end up in the box at the end of a move and score things, as well as create things as well. Of course, playing for Real Sociedad in the Spanish First Division, they finished 11th, or they're about to finish 11th, because the season's not quite over this season. So there's no European football next season, I don't believe, for Real Sociedad. So there's an incentive to maybe come and play Premier League football. I think he's probably got one last big move in his career, if Leeds manage to stay up and keep him. But I do feel like he's somebody that could massively help out Leeds United. Left-footed, and like I said, plays in that number 10 role. When you actually look at the type of player he is, very good set-piece delivery. His corners, he's got a lot of assists from corners, which obviously we would need our Leeds players to actually get on the end of things in the box. But with better delivery that doesn't hit the first man, you could imagine that we've got much more of a chance of actually going ahead and scoring some set pieces. But Brais Mendez, then, this season, non-penalty goals, 0.18 per 90. So that puts him in the top 12% of all the top 5 leagues in Europe, including the Champions League and the Europa League, which is what all of these statistics are compared against. So he's way up there in terms of attacking midfielders, and we'll talk just to who he's been compared to in a little while. He's taken a lot of shots as well, which is something you like to see. Rather than the kind of passing sideways and backwards and trying to walk your way into the box, he likes to shoot from the edge of the box. He likes to shoot from just inside the box, just around the box. He likes to have shots, and some of them tend to go in. 1.72 shots per 90 puts him in the 89th percentile, so the top 11% of shot takers. 0.18 assists as well per 90 puts him in the 85th percentile, so he's in the top 15% for assists as well, compared to some really, really good players in Europe. Shot creating actions is one I always like to see, because it's a measure of, instead of just saying, has he got an assist, it's, has he provided the chance for somebody to have a shot, which, again, I always say this, it's a really good way to test how involved somebody is in attacking play. 3.05 per 90, so essentially he's involved in creating just over 3 shots per 90, which can translate into more assists as well if he's got more clinical people on his side. But that's the 77th percentile. Now, when we talk about his progressive passes and his progressive carries, he's somebody who does like to try and get the ball forward, with his progressive passes being 5.5 per 90, putting him in the 69th percentile, and progressive carries being 1.65, putting him in the 76th percentile. So he's not the highest in Europe for those, but he is up there as somebody who likes to be a ball progressor. Touches in the attacking penalty area and progressive passes received are two that I like to kind of group together, because it shows how much they are going and getting on the end of things as well. And he is doing that a lot. So 3.05 touches in the attacking penalty area per 90 and 4.8 progressive passes received, so balls that are passed into the forward line and he's receiving those passes. That is 4.8 per 90, 94th percentile, so the top 6%. So those are really good statistics for a number 10. Ones that you want to see within a number 10, or certainly I look for, is how involved are they in the attacking play? Are they creating chances? Are they getting on the end of things as well and scoring goals? You can definitely see that he's kind of a player who likes to make third round runs into the box, likes to be like an auxiliary striker at times to go and finish things off. And I think that's a very good thing that he's got in his game that you kind of need if you're going to play in the Premier League as well, because you need somebody who is also going to get in on the goals because you can't just rely on a striker. In terms of his pass completion rate, now I always quote this Tony Kroos quote about if you've got a high pass completion rate, it means you're not trying enough risky passes. His is 78.6%, which puts him in the 22nd percentile. So he's really low down, the bottom 22% for that. But it means that he's making those progressive passes. It means that he's trying things. He's trying to get the ball forward and at least trying to create chances, which is good to see. What I talked about a little while ago was similar players to Brais Mendez, and the people he is being compared to is way up there. So he's being compared to Julian Brandt from Dortmund, Andreas Pereira from Fulham, Mario Pasalic from Atalanta, Alex Baena from Villarreal, who's also really, really good talent, a few years younger than Bryce Mendes. Then you've got Declan Rice, Enzo Fernandez, Bruno Fernandes, Bruno Guimaraes, Nader Mamiri, and Aimar Oroz from Osasuna. So he's way up there being compared to some of the best number 10s and attacking midfielders in Europe. So that does kind of suggest that he is worthy of that value, if not a little bit more. I wouldn't like to spend 45 million on somebody like Brais Mendez, given where he is in his career and the age. But I do think that it's a reasonable risk to take to spend 25-30 million. When you think about the fact that we spent 25 million on Brendan Aronson, or 22 rising to 25, somebody like Brais Mendez, who's proven in a top 5 European league, in European competitions as well, in the cups, he's done really, really well over the course of his time at Real Sociedad, and now coming into his prime is when you're seeing those statistics really get higher and higher. And I do think that somebody like Brais Mendez would be a fantastic move for Leeds. Like I said, considering that he's probably only got one big move left in his career, his wages are apparently €42,000 a week, so not out of the realms of possibility for Leeds to pay as a newly promoted side. I know Patrick Bamford was on more than that when we first got promoted back up to the Premier League, and his contract does expire in June 2028, so he's got a decent he's probably got 2-3 years left on that, which means that his value is retained. So it's not something that we're going to get a cut price deal on, I don't think. But between 25 and 30 million pounds, I think you're picking somebody up who's experienced. They won't have to have much time to adapt to the league. He's just over 6 foot tall. He's a fairly physical player in his play style, and I do think that he had some time to learn under David Silva at Real Sociedad as well. He's had a kind of a very good learning journey to come to the Premier League essentially, and to do well there. So I do think that Brais Mendez is certainly somebody who I could see coming into Leeds and doing really, really well. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Make sure you hit that big red button, and yeah, thanks for watching Leeds Lately.